Hi friends, tell me something. Do you want your relationships to improve? No, I mean like really improve. If you do, these next few minutes are going to be really helpful. Hi, I'm Gina. My channel is Hope and Cope, and this is where we talk about how to have our best life in spite of the painful and sometimes even tragic situations we have in our life. If you know me, you know I talk about Al-Anon a lot. Well, that's because they really helped me. They gave me a lot of tools in my coping toolbox, and they gave me a lot of tools in my relationship toolbox. And today I'm going to talk to you about one of those tools. Al-Anon is where I learned an acronym called T.H.I.N.K. T.H.I.N.K. The T is for truthful, the H for helpful, the I is for inspiring, the N is for necessary, and the K is for kind. Stay to the end and I'll teach you another tip that I learned from Al-Anon that you can marry with this acronym and it will help you even more. So we ask ourselves if something is truthful. And that doesn't mean just true to you. If something hurt you, that might be the truth. But was it hurtful? That is the question. So true, maybe you feel like someone was rude. Was that just your opinion? Was it genuinely rude, or did it just feel rude? So do you understand what I mean by truthful? You have to ask yourself. For one thing, it could be rumor, it could be hearsay, could be something that isn't grounded in truth at all. But you have to ask yourself, is this genuinely true, or does it just feel true to me? The H for helpful. So we might feel like somebody really needs to know something, but is it genuinely helpful to them to know something? Is this the right timing for them to know something? Or are we just getting something off our chest that's going to make us feel good, but isn't going to do our loved one any positive benefit? So the I is for inspirational, and I just want to encourage you that if you do feel like you need to tell someone something, it's so much more helpful or easily received if we just talk about our own experience. Instead of saying something like, well, you should do this and you should do that, you could say, well, in my experience, I've tried it like this. In my experience, I had success with that. So there's a way to give someone some advice or input without telling them what to do. A lot of people don't really want to be told what to do. And sometimes they really don't want to be told what to do by a certain person. So it's just so helpful to say, I had an experience similar to yours, and this is how it turned out. And this is, what happened. And maybe that experience of mine will give you some guidance. Another way to look at the word inspirational is what you're planning to say going to inspire that person to be better. So there's just a way to say something that person's like, yes, you're right. That's so helpful. Thank you. And then there's another way that we say something that really brings somebody down and really adds weight to their sorrow and hopelessness to their situation. So to say things like, I know you can do it. I've seen you succeed. I know how smart you are. I know you're great at this. Those are ways that if you do have to talk to somebody, you do have to tell them something, those are ways to inspire them with the advice or with what you're saying and make them feel like they are definitely up to the task. So the N for necessary. Necessary is not the same thing as helpful. Something might be helpful, but it's still not necessary. So necessary just means it's very important that this person gets this information. They need to know this maybe before they go into a situation. They need to know this before they make that phone call. They need to know this before they call off of work. Is it really necessary? If it's not necessary, if the information you have isn't necessary, then it's possible that you don't need to tell it, or you don't need to tell it now. You don't need to address it at this moment. Maybe there's a better time in the future. So the K is for kind, and I just want you to think about 3 components of kind. Yes, your words. Yes, we would like for our words to be kind and gracious words, but we also need to consider our tone and our expressions. We can be kind in all 3 of those. That's why a lot of things can get lost in text, because we can't convey the tone, we can't convey the expression. So really try hard to make sure that your tone is kind and the expression on your face is kind. All 3 of those things, the words you say, the tone you use, and the expression the body language, just the overall body language, not just the expression on your face, but if you're like, then wait. I'm just going to say, if you've met the other 4 criteria and you can't still control the body language, the tone, or the words, then just wait. Sleep on it. Give it a couple days. Pray about it. And wait until you can get all 3 of those components in line. Because you do want whatever you say to not just be you venting, not you just getting to blow off steam and get something off your chest, but you want it to really genuinely be helpful to that person. Okay, here's my bonus tip. I learned this in Anon, and boy, is this a hard one. So Anon taught us, if you've said anything once, then probably if you continue to say it over and over, you're probably trying to manipulate. That was really hard for me, and I kind of fudged a little bit on that. If I said it once, twice, or 3 times, and depending on the circumstances, I would maybe allow myself to repeat myself here and there. But I really did try to use that measure. Have I already brought this situation to this person? Have I already expressed the way it makes me feel, or the outcome I feel like it has? And have I already laid my concerns out before this person? If I have, then maybe I should just refrain from saying anything. Unless there's new information, unless there's a new context, then we should just think about, are we just trying to manipulate, or do we feel like we have communicated properly and clearly to that person? This is just really hard. You want to say it today. If it happens again, you want to say it tomorrow. If it happens again, you want to say it next week. I understand that, but that is one of the purposes of this channel, is to help us to just learn how to, in spite of someone else's choices, someone else's decisions, learn to be happy in spite of what they're doing. Now, I'm not saying if there's a necessary reason to repeat yourself that you shouldn't. If someone's in danger, if they're conducting dangerous behavior, if you feel like others could get hurt, I'm not saying only say something once. But if it is for your own personal benefit, even for your own personal relationship, if you feel like you've already stated your case and they continue to do it, then my sincere hope is that we can just learn to live and let live, let them do what they want, let them conduct their life the way they please, and then we will adjust accordingly. If you don't come home for dinner, then I will make other arrangements. I may be gone. I might make other plans, may not make dinner, whatever it is. This is just an example. So we are not going to sit around and wait for that person when we've clearly laid out expectations and then they don't meet them. Then we just adjust personally so that we can have our best life without having to force someone to do something the way we think they should. I hope this was helpful. If one of those tips was specifically informative, I'd love for you to let me know in the comments below. And thinking before we speak is really connected to my blueprint for serenity, and I have a video about that, and I will link that at the end of this video. Thanks for spending this time with me. I really love and appreciate you with all my heart. And as always, I pray for you. Don't forget before you go to check out the description box. That's where I put a Bible verse, a Christian song, and my contact information. I always try to post a new video on Sundays, so I'll see you in the next one.